Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Harry's Half Hour, hosted by me, your pal Harry D. Got another special episode for you. This week we're joined once again by a good friend of the podcast and just good friend overall, Mr Callum Hamby. How the hell you doing, bro?
Not too bad, pretty good. Happy to be here once again. Yeah. It's been a few of these Harry's Half Hours that I've been on. So they're always called Harry's Half Hour, but whenever we're on, we chat so much, it's always like an hour and 5 or an hour and 10 or something the last few months. I
think like if it wasn't such a snappy name, I should just rename it because, you know, it's like... Also, it's at the point now where it's almost becoming like an interview show. I've had some good guests on. I don't know if you listened to the episode with my friend Ben on it.
I haven't, but I've heard. You told me about your friend Ben.
Yeah, it's really interesting because he talks all about his experience doing all the crypto stuff, which is something I know you're quite interested in.
Is it?
Yeah, you're interested in a little bit.
Oh, I know a little bit about the NFT stuff, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. Like, and I definitely don't invest.
No, I don't mean that you do it. I just mean that you're in the know about it and stuff. Because the thing is when I got Ben to explain it to me, I was like, mate, explain it like you're explaining it to a 5-year-old, because I've just have no clue what any of this stuff is about.
Yeah.
But it's interesting stuff. So this week, well, before we jump into it, mate, how the hell you been? I know it's been your birthday this week.
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. Yeah, it was a bit of an underwhelming one. It's like, I don't know what it's like for you, but like now that I'm, mid-20s, like your birthday is kind of just...
Mid-20s, mate. Mid-20s.
Yeah.
Late 20s, bro.
Mid-20s, late 20s. Nah.
Late 20s, mate.
they kind of just come and go, and like
yeah, they do.
Yeah. Like, and like it was on a Wednesday. I work Monday to Friday, so, and my girlfriend was like, oh, why don't you have the day off? It's like, and do what? All of my friends aren't doing anything. You guys are busy. Like, it's pointless.
I think that just comes with age, doesn't it? Like, I mean, your birthday is literally just another day now. So
yeah,
but it's important. It's definitely important to enjoy like the little things and that. Like you sent me a picture. You had like a massive takeout.
Oh god damn! It's like it's probably I'm trying to think. It's probably the most I've spent on a takeaway.
Yeah.
So there's a really really nice Turkish restaurant near us. Like proper Turkish, not like doner kebabs.
Not like a kebab house. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did like a proper Turkish food. So we got like, I want to say nearly like 50 quid's worth of food.
Nice.
And I ate it. I ate it for my lunch today and also for my dinner today. And I think we're just about done with it now. But yeah, god damn, it was good. Yeah, I got like the what did I get? It was like a mixed meat like so you get like shish.
Yeah.
Adana,
Yeah.
Adana, the koftas.
Yes.
Oh yeah, delicious.
Nice.
Mixed meze for starters, and I had some baklava as well for dessert. It was delicious.
It sounds good, man.
I ate an absolute
that sounds really good.
shit ton.
I see you drinking some beer as well. Did you get those for your birthday?
I got like 4 cans a few days ago, and this is like just the last one I had in my fridge.
Yeah.
I know you said you were drinking a beer, so I was like,
I mentioned it maybe a week ago now. I got this box of like assorted beverages, and I'm still making my way through. I'm about halfway through. I'm drinking an Out Too Far coastal hazy pale ale. Loving it, man. I'm loving. I don't drink that much, maybe one every other night or something. But I'm just really looking forward to getting home and chilling out and trying one of these new beers and things, man. I'm really loving it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting, because obviously like Christmas is coming up. I've been considering getting like an advent calendar. You can get like the advent calendars with the beers in them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you can get them for as little as like 30-40 quid.
Yeah.
But there's one in a shop near here that I think is like 80. So it's pricey. It's pricey. But I was like, I don't know.
Well, maybe what you should do, man, is like go in the middle, get yourself the because not to promote them, because I know they promote on a lot of podcasts, and we're not promoted by them, we're not sponsored by them. But it's called Beer 52, and they do like an introductory first box kind of thing, and I think it's like maybe like £50 for the big box, which I'm pretty sure is what I got, and well worth it, man.
That's
like,
better
you
value.
Can choose the light, you can choose the light beers or the dark beers or the mixed, and I think because this was a present from my dad, he knows that I like the light beers, so he's gone all light ales, and well, not even all ales. Like I think there's there's been a couple of lagers in there and stuff. Really enjoyed it. So if you're listening, Beer 52, send us a message. I'll promote you.
Give you a shout out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Anyway, man. I mean, I would talk about stuff I've done this week, but nothing. It's just non-stop working for me at the minute. Manager is on holiday, so it's just making sure everything's getting done. So yeah, nothing at all. Just watching a few movies, which, watching through some old Spidermans and things like that. Sort of getting ready for the new one, and also I am going to see the Eternals tomorrow night. That sort of Marvel Eternals thing before it goes off at cinemas. But this week, mate, and everybody, there's been a lot of news. Not so much like sort of general entertainment news, but a lot of Disney stuff, which we're going to get to. So everybody knows I split this show into like segments. You've got music, you've got video games, you've got movies and stuff. I always start with music because I'm super passionate about music, but I have been so into like gaming this week, as we'll get to, and watching like trailers and stuff like that, and watching movies. I watched that Red Notice that's on Netflix yesterday with The Rock in it. So. But I've been watching so much that I haven't been listening to any music. So like I said before we started this podcast, I was like, Hamby, have you listened to any music this week? Like, do you know if anything's come out? Because I'm totally like oblivious to it. I guess actually the only bit of sort of music news that I saw is I did see that there was a headline that Travis Scott is getting sued or something, following on from that Astroworld thing.
Yeah, that thing's a whole mess for a number of reasons. Like, I think it was just a catalogue of errors from everybody. I still am not 100% that how much responsibility you can put on the guy on stage. Like, fair enough.
Well, but he's one of the like the creators.
Oh yeah. So I get it that he was one of the people who organised Astroworld. But people are saying like, oh, he should have seen people in the crowd and stuff, which I kind of get. But you got to remember, like, there's like a big team of like security and like things like that they're paying to like look after this stuff, and I think it's just a whole load of things.
Like having been like everybody knows on this podcast, I was in a band for a little while, and we weren't big at all, but we were like locally successful. And I've been on stage when there's been probably like 500 people max, and it gets to the point where there's so many people that you stop seeing them, if you know what I mean. And I can imagine that if he's on stage, he's in the zone, he's got his shades on or something, it's probably fairly easy than you think to completely like not see what's happening.
Yeah.
Have you seen all those Spider-Man memes at the minute where it's like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man like looking out over a crowd, and it says like crowd screaming in pain, and it's him, and he's like, they love me.
I did see that. I did see that.
Not to joke too much about it, because it's pretty bad, isn't it? Like, people have died.
And the crap thing as well is there's loads of videos and shit of it, like some which you can proper see like people like passed out and stuff.
I tell you what, did you see that other? I mean, I'm remembering like music news now, but did you see that video that's been doing the rounds where it's that lead singer from a band called Brass Against, and I think they are like a brass-led like cover band, like big cover band. Did you see that the lead singer got a guy on stage and then pissed on his face?
No.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that, but I want to see that now.
It's literally... The videos are everywhere, mate. And she literally is like, I need a fucking piss. And she's like... you! And she calls this guy on stage. He lies down, and then she pisses on his face. And he like is like, whoa.
Oh, he's into it.
Oh, he's into it. Yeah, like, he's into it. And then she's singing. The thing is she's singing like the whole time she's doing it. She's still in the song, and you can see that the rest of the band is sort of like, like what the? They're not stopping, but they're not like into it or not into it. If you know what I mean, they're sort of just like, what's going on, And of course, then the guy stands up and he's like shaking his head off and he's flicking it into the crowd and everything. And they've since released a statement and they're like, we're absolutely appalled at like what Sophia has done or whatever her name is, and this is not the image we want and stuff. It's all over the place, man. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
I'll try and find that. That sounds grim.
It is. It's like what the hell, man? It's a big show. It's not like she's in a little pub. It's like she's on stage at a festival or something.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But that's all I've got for music. I don't have any other music news. I don't even have any general entertainment news.
I got some music news.
Yeah,
it's mainly because I hate this song. So at work I listen to the radio, and because I'm listening with other people, I try and put it on to please other people. Just have something in the background. And I started listening to Absolute Radio. Absolute.
Oh, okay. So which one? Because we have Absolute Rock at work.
So just the ordinary Absolute Radio.
Oh, okay.
And normally it's okay. They play like a good mix of stuff, because there's like old people, younger people where I work.
Yeah.
So it pleases everybody. But they do play newer songs that are like more like rock kind of thing. So they don't play a lot of stuff, but they play. So I do not like Foo Fighters, but they've released a new song. And I absolutely hate it because I've mainly because I've heard it like every day for the last like 2 weeks.
Oh,
it's
no
that
way.
Lovers Die Young or something.
So I've read about it, but I haven't heard it yet. But to be fair, man, I think that's almost quite controversial of you because not many people hate the Foo Fighters. They're one of those like loved bands. I'm right with you. I mean. Times Like These, great song. Monkey Wrench, great song. Wheels, great song. And I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the rest of their stuff.
I like My Hero and stuff like that. I like a few of their tracks.
Okay, My Hero. A few of their tracks.
Right. Yeah. Wheels is another good track as well. But I don't know. They're just not a band that probably don't like Foo Fighters. Probably a bit strong. I'm just indifferent about them in general. Yeah. But like this song, I don't know if it's because I've heard it so many times over the last few weeks.
I think to be fair, that might be what it's. I mean, it probably doesn't help that you don't like them very much. But then, basically, for a few days, I didn't touch our radio at work, and my manager switched it over to like, one of these one of these like crappy normal radio stations, right? And I don't know what it was, but they maybe had about 8 songs. And they played those 8 songs throughout the day. And when you're listening to that for like 9 hours or something, you hear the same song probably about 6-7 times in a day.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was literally like, do you mind if I change the radio station? Because I'm about to kill someone. Like, I cannot listen to this, I mean, I'm not into popular music and I don't think it's that great, but I cannot listen to some of these songs where it's like ooh la la la's or like dabba dabba da's or some shit like that,
So
I literally had to go in there and turn it to classic rock, and at least then you have Absolute Classic Rock do the like no replay guarantee or something.
I've got a bugbear about that though. So
yeah,
because I listen to Absolute and all the the Absolute stations and things, they do that no repeat guarantee like every day. And I'm like, okay, on the surface, that sounds pretty cool. They're like, we're not going to repeat a single song from, like, I don't know what it is, like 7 until 5 in the evening.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool. But if you listen to it every day, you'll realise what they do.
Yeah, it's all the same song.
What they'll do is they have, like, because, it's like they're catering to, like, people in their 30s and 40s who grew up in the 90s and 80s. So there's loads of, like, Oasis, Pulp, Verve... Blur, that kind of stuff, and then they've got like the newest stuff like Coldplay and Chili Peppers. There's that kind of stuff. But you notice if you listen to it every day, they literally have like, say like with like Oasis or whatever, they'll cycle between like, like 3 songs, like, but they'll play one every day. So you're like, and it's the same with like Chili Peppers. They'll go like 2 songs. Arctic Monkeys, like every single band, it's like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that's it. and it's like, oh god.
I've found that it's almost the exact same songs getting played every day. I mean, like you said, it's better than hearing them 6 times a day. But I have heard "Black Hole Sun" by Soundgarden. I think it's Soundgarden or Audio Slave or someone.
Yeah.
I've heard "Black Hole Sun" every day for like 2 weeks now, and it's the same thing with that Foo Fighters thing. I can't stand it, and I really love Chris Cornell.
Yeah,
I just can't stand that. Black hole sun, won't you come? Nah, mate. No, turn it off. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
Still better than most other radio these days.
I can tolerate it, and the thing is, like, I don't like taking the responsibility of playing the music because I'm kind of one of these people. I don't want to be that guy who just plays my music.
Oh, I'm more than happy to be that guy.
I know you are.
If my phone had an aux on it, I would be like blasting my shit through the speakers at work.
Yeah.
You know, we'd be listening to all sorts of shit. I'm definitely like, wherever I go, if I'm not in control of the music, I'm a little bit like, you know, what is this? What we're listening to? We could be listening to something cool, but you know. Anyway, man. So there's been some movie news this week. Some of it actually was right after we finished the last Harry's Half Hour. I think I was with Ben last week. Right after I finished it, they dropped a load of news, which is typical. Like, I'd record these, I go Thursday to Thursday, record these on a Thursday night. There's always a dump on a Friday of like all this new stuff, and I think, I have to wait a week now before I can talk about that. So it may seem almost oldie news, but the title, we think it's the full title, it could be the working title, but the title for John Wick 4 has come out. Have you heard it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's called John Wick, not Chapter 4, just John Wick 4 ... Hagakure or Hagakure. Now apparently, if I've translated it right, that roughly sort of translates to Book of the Samurai.
Ah.
And the sort of the pictures are of Keanu Reeves, sort of concept Keanu with a samurai sword.
Sick.
And it seems like they're definitely leaning into like more of an Eastern influence for this new film, which I think is going to be so cool. I really love those John Wick films.
I think we've spoken about it one of the times I've been on about how much we love the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
You know, I like it because like it doesn't take itself too seriously, I don't think.
Definitely, definitely.
And you know, people want crazy, batshit crazy like martial art movies. So I just think it's cool because it is a vehicle. It's like a Keanu Reeves vehicle, and it's just, you know, me and Fee both big fans of King Keanu, and like just seeing him in anything's good. So, but seeing him in like, you know, fucking balls to the wall action. So good. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Good. The choreography is what makes those films. But yeah, John Wick 4 Hagakure. Drop me a message if I'm saying that wrong. DudeWutPodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, I think that's it. Another little bit of news. There has been set photos from the set of Hocus Pocus 2. You laugh, but it's genuinely one of my favourite Halloween films. Loved it since I was a kid. Love the characters. Love all of it. Love the janky CGI cat mouth thing with that boy that's a cat. But this is years later. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, 30 years later or something, they're releasing a sequel. It started with Sarah Jessica Parker like tweeting a picture of her hair with nothing else, just some blonde hair, and she's like, it starts or something. But I think maybe today or yesterday there was a picture of all of them together, and obviously they all look older, like Bette Midler. I can't remember the other woman's name, unfortunately, but yeah, like I'm just really looking forward to that. Hocus Pocus 2. What do you think, bro?
I mean, yeah, I have seen the first one a long, long time ago. But yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'm probably not as hyped.
Maybe it's worth a rewatch, man. We watch it every year. We watch it every year because it's just a feel good Halloween spooky time movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah.
You know? I can imagine your partner. Does she not like Hocus Pocus?
I don't know. I don't know if you've.
I think she'd like it.
I don't know. I don't know. Never really. I don't think we've ever brought it up.
Next Halloween, or maybe just watch it for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus 2 set pics looks kind of cool. Glad to see them all back together again. Next bit of news is something this is obviously, I pick all this stuff, so I'm hyped about all this shit. But the next bit of news is something that is kind of dear to me. You know, Hamby, me and you, both big fans of the Mad Max films.
Oh hell yeah! I heard about
big
this.
Big fans of Gibson. I am a big fan of Gibson.
Yeah.
Love the guy. Really love those Lethal Weapon films. Love all of them. Mel Gibson did a thing recently where it was like an evening with Gibbo. And it's basically like him on stage just chatting about his career and stuff. I almost actually bought tickets to it when they went on sale ages ago. I almost bought tickets because I really love Mel Gibson. I think he's great. But in this thing, he's having a chat. Someone asks him about the Lethal Weapon films. And he basically revealed that he will be directing and starring in Lethal Weapon 5. So good.
I did hear about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously they've all aged. Gibson has aged. Danny, I cannot think of the other guy's name. Murtaugh, his partner.
Yeah, I don't.
Danny Glover. They've got to bring him back as well. I know that dude is probably like 70s now. But they've got to bring him back. I tell you what, I am actually really enjoying all these bring 'em back type films.
Yeah, they're good and bad, aren't they? Like,
yeah, they're bad in a way that you're like, this is blatantly a cash grab.
Yeah.
They blatantly ran out of money, and they're like, let's bring this thing back, baby. And it's a little bit annoying that they're not spending that money on new ideas and things. But when it's a franchise that, that's dear to people, like the Lethal Weapon films. Also, when they let down fans of it with that fucking awful Lethal Weapon TV show. I don't know if you watched it.
No, I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, mate, it's crap. It's crap, and then they sacked the guy who plays Gibson's character because he did some outrageous shit in real life. And it just doesn't work. It's not good. So it's great to see that Gibson will be coming back. He's also directing it, and he's a fantastic director. Look at his track record, really, really great stuff. Next little bit of news. You watched Tiger King when it came out?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I think we had a conversation. Maybe we spoke about this when me, you, and Tomo met up. The last time we met up, I think we had a chat about Tiger King because it led on to exotic pets and it led to the what's your favourite monkey question, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But Tiger King Series 2 came out yesterday.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, I was tempted to watch a bit of it because Fee was at her mate's house like all night last night, and I was like, I really want to watch it, but I know that like it's going to be slap if I watch it, so like saving it for when we're both going to watch it together. But it looks good, man. It looks really good.
I don't know what else what's gonna be new though, because it's like nothing's changed really, has it? But
well,
I'll see.
Well,
we'll
man,
see.
I don't know if you saw the trailer for it that came out a couple of weeks back.
No.
But the trailer makes it look explosive. It makes it look like, it's kind of annoying because it's since been revealed that Carol Baskin isn't in this season, but it sounded from the trailer like Joe and Carol are going to be teaming up Avengers style to take down some bigger dogs. There's bigger dogs out there, man.
There's always bigger fish.
Yeah, definitely. And it's almost like Joe is like, I'm willing to tell all, and it's like, oh. But it looks good. It looks like it's going to cover that whole thing where he was expecting to get pardoned by Trump and he had a limo outside and it didn't happen.
Oh, God,
like
I
that.
remember that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I've got
Who did he pardon? Didn't he pardon like a load of people, but not the Tiger King?
He did. So I can't. Yeah. So I think there was a weird rumor that he was gonna be pardoned, but I don't think it was ever actually grounded in reality, because I think because basically like from the first season of Tiger King, Joe Exotic ran for. What did he run for?
Was it like governor or something?
Governor. I don't know American politics very well. It was like governor. I don't know, senator. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But he ran as like a libertarian candidate. Like leaning more towards like republicanism in America, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess like there was kind of this. I don't know where this theory started that Trump was going to pardon him, but I don't think it was ever. Why would Trump? I don't know.
Yeah, and you can tell that in the little in the chat where Trump is pardoning all these people. He's like up next, like Joe Exotic, you know, and then it moves on fast as anything, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't he pardon like some rappers or something though?
Yeah. I think there was some weird people. I mean, yeah. The whole point of pardoning people is that they don't, in the eyes of most people, they don't deserve to be, you know, in prison. But Joe Exotic did like basically arrange to get someone killed. Like he did do something quite serious. Like
totally. I think a lot of people sort of overlook that.
Yeah.
He fully paid a hitman to kill someone.
Yeah.
So,
Whether or not,
I mean, allegedly, but you know, like,
well, it's not allegedly.
He's in prison.
It's not allegedly, is it? He got fully found guilty of it. So like he did. Like,
I guess you're right. Yeah.
You say allegedly if it's like, oh, like, you know, it's currently.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I say allegedly is because it sounds like more about that is going to come out in this season, and it sounds like we don't know the whole goddamn story. So you know, maybe more will come out.
Yeah.
Okay. This next section I'm going to roll into is massive. It's the most notes I have ever written for a week based on movie trailers. So some of it. Gonna roll through it fairly quickly. There's some things I do want to talk about a bit more, but there's just a lot of it. So end of last week, it was Disney Plus Day. Now, I didn't know that Disney Plus Day was a thing. I don't even know what day it was. Basically, I just had a message saying it's Disney Plus Day. Get Disney Plus for $1.99 for the month. And then I woke up one morning and there was just loads of trailers. Loads of teaser trailers had come out. So, obviously there's trailers for like all things Disney. But being a bit of a Marvel boy, I basically just sort of took note to a lot of the Marvel stuff that's coming out. With a few exceptions. So, there was almost like a showcase where it showed loads of little teaser trailers each. Maybe like 30 to 40 seconds each. Some of them contained a lot of new footage. Some of them look cool. So the first one, Marvel's Moon Knight. Don't know if you know anything about this dude. It's basically Marvel's Batman. If you imagine Batman, but you make him like an absolute schizophrenic or whatnot, you make him multiple personalities, and you make his suit pure white so that he can get splashed with the blood of his enemies, you have Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac is cast in it, and the trailer looks good. It's like 20-second trailer. He does this silly little British voice in it, like I don't know why I'm running or something, like, you know, it's weird, but it looks good. He's like smashing the shit out of some guy on the floor, jumping across the moon and stuff, like Batman. Looks really good, and it's definitely the one that I am the most hyped for out of like all of these upcoming Marvel shows. But yeah, Marvel's Moon Knight, worth checking out. Interesting to me because I love Egyptology, and that whole character's thing is that like he's possessed by like a Egyptian deity or something. So it's all based in the Egyptian thing. But yeah, Marvel's Moon Knight. There was also a trailer for She-Hulk. And this thing shows basically the character She-Hulk. It shows her for like 2 seconds, like the back of her legs while she's like hulked out. But it's funny because this one is basically shot like the trailer is completely shot like an episode of like CSI or like NCIS or like LA Law or something. Because the character is she's a lawyer, but she's like a Hulk lawyer in the law room, which I find law stuff incredibly boring. But probably just because I don't know and I don't really care like what about that sort of thing. But I know like Fee absolutely loves like courtroom stuff. So I think it's going to be like that sort of thing mixed with like superhero-y stuff. Looks cool. The title for it, as I say, looks very like classic. It's also got the Hulk as Bruce Banner, which is kind of weird because I thought that he was like big Hulk the whole time now based on Endgame.
Yeah.
But I guess we're going to see. There was a literal 2 second for a 2-second trailer for an upcoming show called Secret Invasion, and it literally went Secret Invasion, and it was just Sam Jackson with a beard, and then it cut. That was it. It was like 1, maybe 2 seconds long. Secret Invasion, the comic storyline, is all about the Skrulls. Basically, they came to Earth and they started impersonating they impersonate everyone, and it's like, who's real, who's a Skrull? Secret Invasion. But it looks like it's going to be set maybe in the future, or maybe that's just what Fury looks like now, because he's like big grey beard, like Santa Claus Sam Jackson, basically. Looks cool, but then you genuinely can't say anything about it because it is just him looking at the camera and then it ends. There was a longer trailer, still a teaser, but there was a longer trailer for the Ms. Marvel TV show. A newer character called Kamala Khan, who is basically like Mr. Fantastic. She can stretch and make herself polymorph or something. The word is she can make herself bigger and smaller and stuff like that. That looks pretty sweet. They didn't show any powers in it. They just sort of showed her like... I don't know, they sort of filmed it more like, you know how like the first Spider-Man is, like very much like a coming of age type thing.
Yeah.
They showed it like that. So yeah, Ms. Marvel teaser. And then what followed was basically just a load of announcements. So it's just single screenshots of text for, and I'm just going to blast through these because you can't say anything about it, but What If Season 2. I don't know if anybody saw the What If Season 1 that went on recently. I've seen half of it. Really, really interested, really like it. Of course, it's got Chadwick Boseman's last appearance as King T'Challa, Black Panther, in it, because he filmed that sort of before he died. What If Season 2, Agatha House of Harkness, which is based on the main villain from the WandaVision TV show that came out recently, that was pretty cool. So spin-off for her. An animated Spider-Man. So it's called Spider-Man Freshman Year. This is apparently going to be the origin story for this Spider-Man. Told in an animated style. So, should be quite interesting. Going to be kind of cool. Although we've seen how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man like 3 times at this point. It's going to be quite cool. It's been a few years, and it's not like it's a movie or anything. You don't have to watch it, so that's going to be cool. We get to see Uncle Ben die again, this time animated, so... speaking of which, I'm actually watching the Amazing Spider-Man now, and where I have paused it before starting this pod, Uncle Ben has just been shot. So yeah, something called Echo. Now I wrote it down. I meant to do some research on it. I have no clue what this is, so I apologise everyone. But something called Echo on Disney Plus, like Marvel something, is coming out. An I Am Groot animated TV show. We've got an Ironheart series, which is going to be cool. It's like she is the new Iron Man, basically. We are also going to get a season of Marvel Zombies, like a dedicated Marvel Zombies series. I don't know if you did. Did you watch any of the What If?
No, I didn't know.
Well, there's one episode in it where it's like literally What If Zombies. And actually, it was very good, man. It's almost like 28 Days Later, but with Marvel characters. Like, obviously they don't... there's no blood, but they do show characters getting, like, ripped apart. And, like, Hulk gets torn to shreds by zombies and stuff. Like, it's kind of like... Oh, it's kind of dark, you know? Like,
yeah.
And I think that episode went down so well with fans that they're going to do a whole Marvel Zombies series.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be the same animated style, because then they can literally draw characters getting ripped to shreds by zombies. Something that's quite cool, which is nostalgic for all of us, for everyone basically in their mid to late 20s and older. X-Men 97 is coming out. Now apparently this is going to be just a follow-on from the X-Men animated series from the early 90s. And they're bringing back like loads of the original voice members, voice actors. The cast is coming back. So, so many like, big kids are going to be able to relive their childhoods with new series of one of their favourite shows. Generally considered to be one of the best Marvel animated shows ever is that X-Men, that 90s X-Men. I mean, I did watch a little bit of it as I was growing up, and even now I can hear that theme song like blasting through my mind. It gets you. It's so good. Jumping away from Marvel now, did you see that there was a concept art trailer for the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
Oh, I heard about this. Isn't is Ewan McGregor actually in it in some way? Yeah, I think
Ewan McGregor's back. He's starring.
I did see something about this. Yeah.
Ewan McGregor's back. Hayden Christensen is back as Vader. And they're saying, there's been like chats between them, and they're saying that Obi-Wan.
Ewan McGregor.
God damn, I've forgotten his name. Yeah, Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor is saying like he loves this because it's brought him and Hayden Christensen back together again. Because obviously, filming those original trilogy, they spent a lot of time together, years together. And they're saying they're back together again. They're training like they used to, and so this trailer basically shows like a load of concept art, and it shows like old man, not quite as old as like proper old man Kenobi, but it shows like older Kenobi in the desert. There's also a painting of Kenobi fighting Vader, and like it looks good, man, for any like sort of Star Wars fans.
So it's set it's set between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, yeah. So it's like that time in between where Anakin, I guess, becomes Vader and does
Anakin is Vader and Kenobi is in exile, trying to keep an eye on Luke as he's growing up.
Yeah. I think I did read something about it, and to be fair, like I'm kind of into Star Wars. Like I don't mind it.
Yeah, I'll 100% watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Fee watch all the Mandalorian stuff, and like, we don't love it, but we like it enough to watch it every week.
That's kind of how I feel about it. It's not like my favourite thing, but I watched it enough when I was younger that it's like it's worth it.
See, I feel like Star Wars fans are clearly divided into camps, and it depends on your age. Like the older generations now grew up with the originals. So they are like the original generation. Our generation are the prequel generation. So we grew up with like episode 1s to 3. And then you got people now that are growing up with the sequel trilogy. So I got to say, like I'm 100% prequels.
Yeah.
Like I know that 2 is awful, 1's pretty crap, but 3's badass, man. Like, when he becomes Vader, badass.
Yeah. I think the good thing for Star Wars was good and bad, I guess, when Disney got it, because at least then it was like they're definitely going to make some more stuff. Whether they make too much stuff, I don't know. That's kind of up for interpretation. But
I get it, but I think that one of the reasons why people love Star Wars is because it's got such a massive lore to it, and I think people were getting sick of like Skywalkers, basically. So I think that it's a good thing that they're like... I think that it's good that Mandalorian is over there doing his own thing. I mean, obviously, spoiler in it, Luke turns up in season 2, but like, it's good that's happening, I think. And down for McGregor coming back as Kenobi.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be cool. A bit annoying that they're not showing us any actual like any footage of it. We know it's filming and that, but like, come on, show us some stuff,
Yeah.
I think one of the things I read though is that a lot of people were thinking it's going to be quite boring. It's going to be like very deserty and stuff, but they've shown some really cool concept art of like planets and droids and all sorts of stuff. So looks like it's going to be good. Probably won't be that many episodes considering the sort of the stars that they've got in it. I don't imagine they'll be able to tie McGregor down for anything more than like 6 episodes.
Yeah. You would have thought so.
But yeah, Kenobi. Another trailer called Limitless came out. Now, when I saw this is all Disney still. When I saw this, I thought, is it based on that like Limitless film with Bradley Cooper in it? I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Not very good, to be honest. Basically about a guy who there's a pill, and that pill means that you can use 100% of your brain and you become super smart, but then you become addicted to it or something. And I thought, I'm pretty sure they already did a TV show of that film, which they did. So I tapped on it, and now what it is they're basically paying Chris Hemsworth to do like I'm travelling around the world and I'm bungee jumping and I'm putting my body through extreme conditions and stuff. It's basically just one of those things where he goes like, he dips himself in cold water for 30 minutes or something, and he's like, how much can the human body withstand? But it looks kind of cool. It looks high budget, you know. Like one of the opening scenes is him. He's in New Zealand at that world's biggest bungee jump. You know, where that cable car is suspended, people bungee. And what he's doing is he's basically he's holding onto a rope suspended, you know, underneath this thing, and he's got to climb up, you know, and he's just like, oh, my muscles, you know, as he's like climbing up a rope to get to the top. There's a lot of strapping him in. There's a lot of like little sticky things on his muscles, and then a lot of computers that are sort of making weird lines, and he's like conditioning, you know. But like it looks big budget. It looks like it's going to be alright. There's another Marvel show called The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which is very similar, but instead it's Jeff Goldblum like I love sneakers, you know, and it's like cool. I'll watch that for an hour, you know. So yeah, Limitless. Chris Hemsworth doing exercise in extreme conditions. Now the next thing whenever I know I've got a guest coming on, I usually try not to give too much away because I try to get a genuine reaction. But I had to send this to you, man. So I saw it on IGN's YouTube channel. They released the first teaser trailer for the Halo series. Now, what did you think of this, dude?
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool. I can't really remember what it was like. I did watch it.
So
I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like 30 seconds. It's like a very pale man.
Shit on his back.
Puts on it, with scars all on his back. He basically just like puts the helmet on. You can tell it's Master Chief from behind. He puts the Spartan armor on. It's like a close-up of some bits of the Spartan armor of 117, you know. And then it just goes, like, in the Cortana voice, which is obviously the same voice actress. It just goes like, hello, Master Chief. And then it just, Halo, the series.
Yeah.
It's just a few close-ups of the armor, really. And of the, you know, the guy underneath it. But
yeah. I did watch it. It was like, it was last week. I couldn't remember.
Well, so for years now, they've been talking about turning some of these old Xbox titles into movies and TV shows. Gears of War was going to come out years ago. Halo was supposed to come out as a movie years ago. What do you think about them, you know, finally doing it now and making it into a TV show? What do you think it's going to be about?
Yeah.
Is it going to be like original trilogy, or is it going to be like new or totally new? What do you think?
I reckon it will be before. I reckon it will be some prequel, like before Halo Reach. Like it will be like, well, because I'm remembering all the old Halos now. Halo Reach is set right before Combat Evolved, and Master Chief isn't in Halo Reach. Was
Master Chief around then?
That's he was, but he was like, wasn't he in like hibernation or something? Because then like Reach,
maybe
because the end of Reach is obviously they're getting attacked on Reach, obviously, and they're basically trying to get Cortana onto the Pillar of Autumn to like send it off to Halo to the Halo basically.
Oh,
so the
okay.
end of Reach is like the prequel. And I was wondering, like, well, they haven't. Sorry, Halo fans out there. I do like Halo, but my recollection of like the older games.
It's the same thing as me. Like I played Halo 1 and 2 the day they came out. Honestly, the day they came out. But I then didn't play 3 through to 5 until this year.
Yeah.
So I've never played Reach. I've never played ODST.
ODST not so much, but Reach is really good in my opinion. I've always really loved the campaigns in Halo games. Like I think they're 5 was probably one of the poorest ones, in my opinion.
5 was, yeah,
But-
5.
but-
I mean, looked flashy. I didn't like how it played.
But you know, like on the whole, I think they're pretty good, and I think a lot. I think they probably should have maybe tried to have ended it after Halo 3. I think it would have made like a really nice trilogy, but instead they've tried to carry it on, which is fine, you know.
At least end the character.
Yeah.
Bring us a new character, a new thing set in the world of Halo.
But you know, so there's some good things. But in terms of like turning it into a TV show, yeah, I'm not so sure. Like, you know, turning video games into films hasn't got a very good track record, has it?
No,
like,
it definitely does not.
They've all been. I don't know. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of any that have been like a really big success.
Not
really.
that. I mean, there's been some that I like.
Yeah.
The new Tomb Raider I like, but I think in terms of box office success, the most successful one I believe was that Rampage film that came out a couple of years ago with The Rock, and that was literally based off like an 80s arcade game.
Yeah.
So you can't really say that it's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's just got a monkey in it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like more recently, like the Assassin's Creed movie sucked, in my opinion. Like,
well, nah, mate. Like,
it sucked.
Nah,
it sucked.
Nah, it wasn't the best. You know, it wasn't the best by all means, but like, you know, Assassins on the big screen, I'm here for it all day long.
Yeah, I know you're a big Assassin's Creed fan. Yeah, I think the thing with Halo, I think there's. I don't think they'd be able to add much if they just redid Master Chief's story, or like the story from like Halo 1, 2, and 3, which could probably be a TV show or a movie, you know. But I don't think so. I think they'll do like a prequel to Combat
I
Evolved.
sort of hope they do. I hope they do, because I think if they try, the Halo series is so loved by fans. You know, it's considered to be it's the pillar of Xbox. There's a little Master Chief hidden in every single new console. Like, you know, I think that if they tried to mess with any of the story, it would get so much hate. So even if it was good, it would get hate.
Yeah.
So I think that they should literally just give us a new story. Keep Master Chief in it. Although actually, you know, controversial, right? But I think Master Chief's quite a lame character.
You cut out there, man. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I'm saying I think Master Chief's quite a lame character.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll pretend I didn't say that, right? Because I don't want to get like a brick through my window.
But this, I'm going to go into detail now. But the whole point of Master Chief is that, Halo games in general is that it's not just Master Chief, is it? It's Cortana and, you know, I can't remember what the other.
I get that, and I do like Cortana, and I like all of the surrounding characters. I just think that as a main character.
Yeah, I get that.
You know.
But the problem is
he's just a walking tank.
But the problem is that because the whole thing with Halo is that like he, you know, obviously like the helmet stays on kind of thing, you know. But like you can't really, I don't know, like it's going to be hard to do a TV show about Master Chief maybe they will take the helmet off, I don't know, but you'd think they would. But yeah,
I think that I will watch it. I definitely will watch it. Depends on what it comes out on, actually. Like, hopefully it comes out on, like, a big normal channel. If it's something I've got to, like, really search to find, like, or it's on one of these weird channels, I probably won't bother.
Yeah.
But,
I think...
You know, I will watch it.
I think the Gears games would probably be more appropriate, to be honest. Just because...
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
The Gears games need to be made. Like, a few years ago, I would have said a film. But now, I think that... Give me a 6-part miniseries.
Yeah,
Give me a 6-part miniseries. And maybe do, you know, if that goes down well, give me a 6-part on... But I think that is something that should follow the game story.
Yeah. I know it's not strictly speaking based off the games, but what about the Witcher series? Because I know it's not strictly speaking off the games, it's off the books and stuff, but like... Obviously, the games are very, very well known.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to get into that, and I just couldn't.
Yeah. So, me and Fee watched it, and I'll be honest, like, we absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that. I thought that series was so good, it made me go and read a load of the books.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely loved it. I loved Henry Cavill as Geralt. I thought that the casting was just insane. So good. The story was a bit hard. Like, it did that thing where it was like multiple narratives at different times.
I think that's what...
Which was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. It did make it hard. But as I covered on maybe about 2 weeks ago on Harry's Half Hour, there was a new trailer come out for it, and it looks like they are taking so much more inspiration from the game. He's got silver swords in it. He's got the signs, you know, what the magic he does. Looks great, and it looks like it's going to follow. It's going to follow from bits from Witcher 3. You're going to see Ciri training. Apparently, Henry Cavill actually injured his leg doing the gauntlet, and they had to postpone production for a while because you know anyone who knows The Witcher knows there's the Witcher gauntlet, which is where they like jump across logs and do all this stuff. So yeah. Before we just spoke a lot about video games, right? We haven't even got to the video game section yet. Yeah. There's one more thing left on the movie trailers that I want to get to, and then we'll get into video games proper. I think it's yesterday morning, a brand new trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home came out. Did you see it?
I did not, but my girlfriend did, and she told me to watch it.
I was going to say, man, I'm surprised. I know, because I know you fairly well, that I know you're not that big on Marvel films, I know that your girlfriend loves them. So I'm surprised that she's not like, watch this. You have to watch this.
It's not that I'm not into Marvel. I just don't get that hyped up for them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I can't remember if I've spoken to this on the podcast or not. You know, like I enjoy them, and I think that they're on the whole they're good movies. But
yeah,
I think there was a stage a few years ago where I just got really fatigued by it all. And
well,
I was like,
this is what I was going to say. Yeah. Is I genuinely do feel like there is a lot of fatigue for the superhero genre at the minute, and everything led up to Endgame.
Yeah,
and it almost feels like that is where it should have stopped. Like. But now it's carrying on, and it's sort of like, oh god, and the fact that it's all connected means that someone who probably has minor ADHD like me, I can't watch one out of order. Like, I have to now go and watch fucking 20 films or something just to watch the newest one. The main reason I'm going to see Eternals tomorrow night, even though it's supposed to be crap, is because I want to book tickets for Spider-Man next month. And I know that if I don't go see Eternals, there'll be something in there that I won't understand or something, and I can't be having that. I've got to watch it. That's literally the only reason we're going to see Eternals tomorrow night. But, I mean, because of that, though, we've cheaped out. We've gone for, like, a tiny screen, you know, £4 tickets or something, as opposed to the IMAX 30 quid a ticket thing. But, yeah, Spider-Man... It looks good, man. I'll be honest. It looks really good because it's all been building up to this thing where the Spider-Men are coming back. And about the time that we were in school, you know, 2001, you had, or 2001, 2002, you had the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. Now, I love those films. I was a little kid when they came out. I loved them so much. And... if you're telling me that Tobey Maguire is going to be in this new one as Spider-Man with the other Spider-Man, I mean, I didn't care for the Andrew Garfield one because he's too cool for me, but with Tom Holland Spider-Man, I'm down for it, man, especially when you're bringing back Willem Dafoe as Goblin and, like, you know, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, you know, like, I'm down for it. But, now I wrote in my notes, in big letters, no Spider-Man. Everyone was hoping that in this trailer they would finally show all three Spider-Men together. Because it's basically confirmed that they're going to be in this movie with all their other villains. At one point, Doc Ock pins Tom Holland's Spider-Man against a wall and goes, "You're not Peter Parker." And it's like, obviously, because he knows Tobey Maguire, isn't he? Like, it's like, why are they not putting him in the trailer? But I've been doing my research, right? And this leads me to believe that those Spider-Men won't actually be in the film very much. Maybe 20 minutes, I think. Because, I don't know if you remember back to 2016 when the Suicide Squad came out, there was posters for the Joker everywhere. He was in all the marketing, his movie posters, T-shirts. And then that film, I think, got sued by people, real life, because Joker's like not in that film. He's in it for like 5 minutes. So I think that Marvel and Sony are covering their asses and deliberately not showing the new Spider-Man, because they're probably going to be in it right at the end. And I forgot to say, there's also a shot towards the end of the trailer where you've got all of these villains all jumping across the right-hand side of the screen. And on the left, you've got one Spider-Man, right? But in the Brazilian edit of this trailer, which is weird, I've done my research, right? In the Brazilian edit, the Lizard jumps across the screen, and then out of nowhere, he cranks his neck back like he's just been stone cold stunned. You know, I can't remember what that move is, but like he's been kicked in the face, Lizard goes bang, but there's nothing there. And people are like, they've edited it out. Like, there's supposed to be a Spider-Man there, like, kicking Lizard. That's why he's like...
Yeah.
But, yeah, so... What are your thoughts to them basically just bringing back everybody at this point? Do you think it's like a last-ditch attempt to get butts in seats? Or do you think it's genuinely something cool?
Oh, you know what it is? It's that it's a fan service thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, you know, we gotta... You know, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier about bringing old franchises back. Although it's like a current franchise, it's obviously had lots of different, you know, releases and things over the years. The Amazing Spider-Man, you know, so stuff like that. And I think it's just playing on people's nostalgia, really.
Yeah, I think also that. Did you ever see that Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I actually quite like that.
Yeah, very good. Really, really good.
Actually, yeah.
I think that what they're doing is they are cashing in on the success that film had. I think this whole thing has come from the success of that Spider-Verse thing, and they're going, people love this. You know, people love it when they've got all different Spider-Men and stuff. Personally, I'm a Peter Parker man. I don't really like any of the other Spider-Men. I don't really care for any of them. But in this new one, it's all those Peter Parkers coming back. So yeah, I think that is... they're basically sort of cashing in on the success of that film, even though that film is getting a sequel at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spider-Man Trailer 2, I believe it is out on the 17th of December in this country. And I'll be honest, I'm booking tickets as soon as they come out. Because... And next year looks good for cinemas, for releases, man. You've got Matrix 4 coming out at the end of next year as well. Like, badass. Again, King Keanu. Right, last section now is the video game news. Now, me and Hamby, we tend to chat most of the time in an Xbox Live party because we're usually playing a bit of Call of Duty or, you know, a bit of whatever and chatting at the same time. I know you've got some things to say. I've only got one bit of news, so I'm going to say this and then we can talk about whatever. But the main bit of news I got for this week is that... following on from the Microsoft purchasing Bethesda, from that whole thing, it was people sort of thought that, oh, like Bethesda games are now going to be all Xbox exclusive, and I was like, don't be stupid. Like, why would they do that? They're going to sell. Now Microsoft are selling games to Sony, you know, like the enemy, making money off of them. So why would they do that? However, the big news as of about 3 days ago is that. If you love Elder Scrolls and you are a hardcore PlayStation man, you're going to have the worst time because Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be an Xbox exclusive. So if you want to play it, you're going to have to borrow or buy an Xbox, basically. Now that's mega because maybe about 10 years ago, the biggest games were Bethesda games. Fallout, Elder Scrolls, all Bethesda, the biggest games, you know. So it's mad that one of those, you know, one of those IPs is going to be solely on Xbox. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people will complain, but you know, that's business, unfortunately. Microsoft want you to buy an Xbox, so they're going to make it as attractive as possible. And if you love Elder Scrolls like most people do, then you're going to have to get an Xbox or PC.
There was a time when I genuinely cared about the console war thing. I'm too old for that shit now. I just want to play what I want to play, and I'm an Xbox man purely because I have been for so long, and I've got a PlayStation, I've got a PS4, but I'm an Xbox man because it's just easier for me to play an Xbox than it is to play.
We could talk we could talk to our friends and things through it.
That's the whole reason. However, I do feel kind of like there is a little bit of a smile going on because, like, from my point of view, it's PlayStation fans that really care about the whole console war thing. And that's not a generalization.
It's a massive generalization.
Maybe it is, right? But it's in all their marketing. It's like PlayStation, like for the players. Fuck you, Xbox, basically. And it's like, hang on, God, it's just a game, mate. Just play a game, Like, so, you don't need to be like players, real players on PlayStation.
So one criticism of like when you compare like PlayStation and Xbox, and the same, I've always been like more of an Xbox kind of person. I think one of the big things with Microsoft and Xbox is I don't think they've kept up with Sony in terms of new IPs. Because Sony,
they haven't.
Sony have like, fair play to them. They've got, like The Last of Us, the first one didn't come out that long ago, really. Was it 2014 or something? And that's a big game. God of War games. They've got some
God of War's massive. The Spiderman game, like, massive game.
Sony have like.
Uncharted, I've mentioned it before, like on the podcast.
Games.
I'm a huge Uncharted fan. I've got them all. I love those.
Yeah,
games.
I've played the most recent couple, I think. But anyways, so like basically like Sony have done pretty well with exclusives, and Microsoft, in all honesty, like as much as I like Halo and Gears and stuff like that, they haven't really done much new stuff, or if they have, like it's not been really much of interest to me.
It seems to be much more Microsoft focusing on the indie games, the last generation and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm saying that there is a bit of a smile from me because, like, from all the people that are like, PlayStation's the best because it's got this and this and this and this, it's now like, yeah, but mate, if you want to play Elder Scrolls...
And probably Fallout as well.
And, and the Fallout games and stuff.
There's another Bethesda game coming out next year, isn't there?
Starfield.
Have they said that if that's cross-gen or not? Or have they...
I don't know about that.
Because that's they've said that's basically going to be Skyrim but in space.
Yeah. But a lot more. I think they said that it's going to be a lot more grounded in realism. Starfield is. There's not going to be that much like fantastical things in it like there is with Fallout and things like that. But yeah, no, I think that sounds good. I actually listened to a podcast about that this morning actually, and they were saying that. Do you think Starfield will release smoothly, or is it going to be a buggy mess like Bethesda has become known for?
I mean, so I didn't even...
And I think the thing is, what they're saying is, this game is being released on, I think it's called the Creation Engine, which is their tried and trusted and very outdated engine at this point. So,
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into it, but I've got a love-hate relationship with Bethesda games.
Yeah,
I love Skyrim and stuff, but then again, I don't want to play it for like the 10th time in a row.
Yeah, well, Skyrim, for 2012 that was acceptable.
Yeah,
but not if you're going to spend £70 on a game. I don't want it to play like Skyrim. You know what I mean? Like today.
They're releasing the anniversary edition at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I covered it. I covered it on the last HHH that there is a anniversary edition. It's got new storylines. It's got new monsters. Did you see, though, that there's a free update now which gives you 20 plus new enemies in the game?
I haven't played...
Like, even just for everyone who owns Skyrim.
Yeah, I haven't played Skyrim for years. I probably won't ever play it again.
Me either. I said to Ben at the time, like, I think I've played Skyrim enough for 2 lifetimes.
I love it.
Leaving it there. I mean, we'll always live on the memories of that game, but I don't really play it.
Honestly, when a new Elder Scrolls game comes out, I'll play the shit out of it.
Oh,
but until then, I mean, like, honestly, like, I used to be more of a Fallout guy. When like Fallout 3 and New Vegas came out, I was like, hell yeah, I prefer Fallout because I loved the. Yeah. I think I slightly preferred the world and the lore to Fallout, and then and then like basically, obviously Fallout 4. Well, in my opinion, Fallout 4 was a bit of a disappointment. 76, like,
yeah, that's fair.
Although I didn't play it very much, it was an absolute dumpster fire. So like the last two Fallout games I've been like meh. So now it's like Elder Scrolls' turn. So let's see if it's.
I'll agree. I agree with that. I loved Fallout 3, but no, like for me it's the opposite. Like I genuinely prefer the world of Elder Scrolls more than I do Fallout. But moving on, because we're over the hour mark now for this half-hour show. Moving on to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, there's been some news this week, hasn't there, Hamby? So you are, safe to say, a fan of the Battlefield games?
Yeah. Do you want me to go into it? So
yeah, go into it, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a busy week with like big blockbuster games coming out, like. So the first one, which although it's technically not actually out until tomorrow, or it'll be out in the UK in 2.5 hours. It's Battlefield 2042. So, but early access started last week. So most people who have Game Pass or bought, one of the pre-order editions have been playing it for nearly a week now. And obviously there's a lot of hype around 2042.
Massive hype.
And obviously there's a lot of other like big FPS games coming out around the same time, like COD and Halo. So people were quite excited about it. The beta came out a few months ago, and kind of people were a bit meh about it, but it's a beta. Basically, the game's come out. The game's out, and it's safe.
It came out, and it gave you like a 10-hour free trial.
Yeah,
or something
with Game Pass, yeah. And essentially,
and we've been thinking about playing it for the live stream that we do now on Fridays, or that Tomo does on a Friday. So looking forward to it. But Hamby is basically our Battlefield man. So we were waiting for him to play.
I've always been a Battlefield fan. In my opinion, they're great games. On the whole, they're great games. But it's a huge disappointment. It's although fair enough, like the game is out properly tomorrow, but the release of the game is the full game. It's not like it's a beta or anything. It is the full game.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of issues. Like, you could probably have an entire episode of a podcast dedicated to issues with Battlefield 2042. In short, like, there's so many bugs. There's, I think they've, me and Harry have spoken about this a lot, about how, games nowadays are trying to sort of get you to buy skins and operators and things. Like Battlefield and like we're fans of COD, and COD is guilty for it as well. Don't get me wrong. Battlefield have decided to implement this into their game, but they've kind of done it at the expense of really key things that make Battlefield a Battlefield game. Like, the way that you play as... In Battlefield, normally you play as, like, specialists. So you play as, like, an assault class or an engineer or a scout and things like that. And although you can kind of still do that, it's, like, it's just so much... It's a lot different to previous Battlefield games. And it's kind of just... In the nicest possible way, it's kind of just turned it into a generic shooter. It's kind of just turned it into COD. Which is not why people...
Yeah, it doesn't... I mean, it looks so promising. Like, all I've been hearing... Because Battlefield have been marketing it heavily on podcasts. So, maybe about 2 of the podcasts I've been listening to, now before their episodes, it's like, sponsored by Battlefield. You can have 120 players on massively destructible maps and things. And it sounds like I'm not a Battlefield man. I played Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. Okay games. I actually didn't like Battlefield 4 in that, which is considered the great ones, 4 and 3 and whatnot. But I wasn't planning on getting it. But to hear that you are disappointed with it, Hamby, it must be doing something bad.
Yeah, I saw that they were doing the 10 hours free, and I thought, that fills you with a bit of confidence, because it shows that you they're willing to let you play it for 10 hours for free. And then,
because the beta was crap. Well, the beta was supposedly crap as well, wasn't it?
So they're like, you can play 10 hours free, and then, you'll hopefully go and buy the game. And that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, I'll play it for 10 hours and probably buy the game, because it should all be good. But, yeah, Battlefield 4 was a buggy mess when it came out, to be fair. It was an absolute mess. And, I'd say it probably wasn't in a playable state until like 6 months or so after it had been out. But it was still a really popular game, even for years. It was a really popular game. So there's other things that run a lot deeper that I think are not. It's not like it's a buggy mess. It is a buggy mess, but there's issues with it that are actual conscious design choices that I don't think.
You said to me, so to highlight one of these, you said to me that in the world of Battlefield 2042, it's set in a future where like resources are running out, like governments are crumbling, shit is genuinely not going great, and the mood of the game should be one that is very like tense and like desperate. Yeah. And you're saying that because they've put in these like essentially like Call of Duty operator style skins and things, you've got characters that are, in a world where there's no fossil fuels or whatnot and shit's hitting the fan, they're doing like little quips at the end of games and things like that. Yeah, little jokes and stuff.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's strange. This is not unique to Battlefield. Like Call of Duty has become more and more like this as well, and it's annoying because you want to, like I know I can't speak for everybody who plays these games, but like I'm in my mid to late 20s. Like I don't care about like all this stuff. Like I just want to play a game, and it's not what I play. I don't play a game for like that.
I know. I totally understand.
It's strange, and also like that's the other thing, like I don't know what the rating is. I'm assuming it's like a 16 or maybe even an 18. I don't know, but like it's a mature game. Like it shouldn't feel like it's it shouldn't feel like it's catering to like 13-year-olds. In my opinion.
I feel like a lot of this, excuse me, a lot of this is because of Fortnite.
Yeah,
and the immense success that game is having, that now other games are thinking, well, obviously the 12 to 14-year-old market is obviously massive. We need to cash in on that. Like we need to have emotes, and my character needs to go with a big L in front of his forehead and stuff like that, and like say funny things, and it's sort of ruining gaming a little bit.
Yeah,
for those people who just want to play, like you said.
Yeah. So I mean, there's more things wrong with it in the whole, but I can only hope that in a few months' time when it's like cheaper, that it'll be more worth a buy. At the moment it's like 70-80 quid. And it's like, and it's got no single player as well. Like that is just multiplayer.
What? Hey, what?
Well, but so Battlefield games traditionally have not had a single player. There's only been a handful of Battlefield games that have had single players. More of the recent ones, like Battlefield 1, 5, the Bad Companies.
Okay.
A lot of them haven't.
I think that it is 100% unacceptable to release a game today, charge like 70 quid, and for it not to have a single player.
I kind of agree.
I didn't know that, but now I'm not even going to play it. I'm not even going to play the 10 hours.
So I agree and disagree with you. I agree. It's if you're buying an 80 quid game, you'd expect it to be a single player. But if you are spending that much money, I would at least expect the multiplayer to be absolutely stellar.
Oh, it would need to be.
It's just not. It's
I can't believe. I see that makes it sound so much worse. I like probably many other people have assumed that it's got one of these campaigns where you play as a few different characters.
No,
maybe like how it's been recently, where it's been like 5 mini campaigns or 4 mini campaigns. I cannot believe that it is just multiplayer.
And that's the thing as well, is that like the setting of the game and the world they're trying to make, it's kind of hard to do that in just multiplayer. Like the whole thing of
what the hell?
It's weird. It's weird. So the point I was going to say is that it's 80 quid at release. Honestly, like the state that it's in, like I would wait a couple months. I reckon it will be like half that. Easy.
So to wrap that up a little bit, I think you've said that you're going to make. So you were going to get it on launch. You're not going to bother.
Oh hell
now,
no!
right?
I'm gonna. I don't think. For starters, I'm going to wait and see if they fix a lot of the bugs and things. but also like I just don't think it's worth the money, and I wouldn't really want to. I'm gonna try and get it when it's like 30-40 quid. I reckon that's probably, and even that's a lot for what it is, to be fair. But it would have to be fixed.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, definitely. So maybe then what you should do is next. I mean, when you get the game, a month or 2 months down the line or something, let us know. We'll get you back. I mean, you'll be on these. You're always on these podcasts. But we'll get you on again, and we'll do another one specifically about if it's any better, and if you should buy it now, basically.
So, I mean, so that was the bad release of the game. The only two other things I wanted to say was the other two games that came out in the last week or so. I guess you could say it came out are Forza Motorsport 5 and Halo.
Yeah.
Well, the beta for Halo Infinite multiplayer.
The multiplayer, yeah.
And I would say, like, both of them, like, if you've got an Xbox and you've got Game Pass, it's an absolute bargain that you get both of those games included in Game Pass. They're both stellar games from what I've played so far.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't like driving games, but like you said, it's worth downloading Forza Motorsport 5. If you've got a Series X or a high-end PC, download it purely to see what it looks like.
Beautiful game. Beautiful game.
I mean, I play in cockpit cam. We had this debate, I play in cockpit cam, so I never see the cars, but the world looks amazing. Yeah, the cars look fantastic. The world looks amazing. It's genuinely like when you're going around corners, because it's just it feels so real. And going on to Halo, like, I played a little bit of it and I really enjoyed the character customization because I love that sort of thing. But to be honest, I've never been a fan of Halo multiplayer. That's just me. Like, I know I know it's mega and I know people love it. And what I will say is that this Halo multiplayer feels like back to the roots OG Halo multiplayer. Like, if you want that rocket launcher, you gotta go and get it. It's in the middle of the map somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not like spawning in with your loadout and stuff.
Yeah.
It's classic Halo. And if you are one of the guys that played like Halo 2 online, or Halo 1 when it had multiplayer or whatnot, I think you're gonna love it. So, like Hamby said, you need to download those games, basically. They're on Game Pass. You're already paying for it. Just download them.
I think the fact that Forza Motorsport and Halo both dropped in the same week, and if you've got Game Pass, it's a no-brainer to just download and try it. So I'm really looking forward to the Halo single player. Really looking forward. Yeah, so it was weird with the multiplayer, because it kind of like dropped unexpectedly. They kind of literally just announced on Mondays, like, oh, by the way, like, you can play like the multiplayer now. Like, they just like,
it was weird.
Because the actual single player, the actual full game isn't technically out until the 8th of December, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it was really strange how they did it. So yeah, I've played a fair bit of the multiplayer. I think a few complaints that people have had with it, and I can understand why, is that it's because it's technically free to play. The progression isn't great, so you have to it's basically incredibly hard to unlock things via the battle pass.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I think that 343 have said that they're going to be changing that before launch. So,
yeah.
But honestly, like, compared to, I like Vanguard. Vanguard does have its issues, like big issues. It does.
It's Call of Duty.
So honestly, compared to Vanguard and Battlefield 2042, I would say Halo, like, already has had a very smooth launch. It plays really well. It looks awesome. I've not had any problems, glitches, bugs, anything like that. So the only thing that needs fixing, which they've already said they're going to fix, is the progression.
Yeah. Well, this year is a mad year because you've got, like, the big three in gaming are all releasing this year. COD, Battlefield, Halo. It's been years since that happened. So it is a big year in gaming, and hopefully it carries on. Hopefully, we get big releases every year now, because, like we were saying earlier, it's been a bit of a lull on the Xbox side for a while. A lot of indie games, not that many. I used to buy maybe a couple of games a year. I'm down to maybe buying one game a year now.
I have to be. One of them is normally COD, and apart from that, I'm really careful these days that the game is actually good. Like, I was going to get Far Cry, and I basically got.
Me too.
I basically I'm glad I didn't. I was like, I'm going to wait a week, and I waited a week, and people kind of said like, it's not bad, but it's also not great. So I was like, nah, I'm going to wait.
Same old shit.
I'm going to wait until it's like 10 quid.
Yeah, same. And this is coming from someone who used to buy them every year, no matter what. This year, I thought I'm going to wait, and it's not supposed to be that great. So, mate, we are coming up on, like, this is the longest ever episode of Harry's Half Hour, which is supposed to be, half hour of news entertainment and whatnot. I think that we should wrap this up and leave it here. But maybe it would be a good idea to do an episode specifically on something. You know what I mean? Like, you play a lot of like brand new games and things like that. I think maybe it is an idea that we do an episode at some point where we focus on like a specific topic, and of course get you back on, and we'll just chat about that for an hour or something. But what I will say to everyone is send us an email, dudewutpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on Instagram @dudewutpodcast. Send us a voice message, speakpipe.com/dudewutpodcast. If you know of any cool games for Hamby to play, send us an email. I'll send it over to Hamby and let him know that you want him to play. Like, yeah. But I mean, I'm doing this with you, so we'll get Hamby playing a game. He can be our investigative journalist that goes out and plays like shitty indie games and comes back with a report. You can check us out on there. What you can do for us, which would help massively, is leave us a written review. Well, not even if it's a written review. You can just write dickheads, but leave us 5-star, and that'll help us spread our sort of podcast around a little bit. Hopefully be having some big-ish news coming sometime soon. We're sort of low-key working on something, but, it probably will turn into nothing, so you can forget I said that. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Means a whole lot. If you've gotten this far, then, big pat on the back to you. You deserve a little DudeWut badge, which we don't have. So just give yourself a pat on the back. Everybody, I have been Harry Dowling as always. I've been joined with the one and only Mr. Callum Hamby, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Had a great time. Flown by.
Yeah, no worries at all. And you should all take it easy. So we're going to wrap it up there. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
See you later.